Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. That's it. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome everyone. Yes, I should put it here. Okay, please close your books, laptops. Let's do some recap. You have to be ready today. He's empowered today to answer all questions. So yesterday we saw that in chapter 7, which is entitled Further Inquiry by Vidura, Vidura asked 7 questions, 3 were answered, discussed yesterday also. But then he asked 2 more questions. Tell me one question which has 2 parts. Any one question, yes, Anandulal Prabhu. Tell me, out of the 2 questions, tell me one question which has 2 parts.
He asking about Ishvara and Jiva.
Jiva, okay, good. So one question is about Ishvara, another question about Jiva. What is the question about Ishvara?
Ishvara, like Ishvara is, even though he's in transcendental Ishvara, but he's involved in how he involved into the moods, 3 moods.
How he is involved?
In 3 moods of nature.
How he gets involved within the 3 modes?
Then it's like a sun.
No, but how is his involvement shown? Like,
You say, how is guna?
How is transcendental? How is transcendental? And how also is aloof, that means transcendental. How is also involved in 3 gunas?
3 gunas.
How is the Lord involved in 3 gunas?
Like sun.
Okay, anyway, fine. It's okay. Others, this is good. This is one question about the Lord. How he is aloof from the 3 modes, but is involved in the 3 modes also. Okay, fine. What is the other question about the Lord? Yes, Rasmat and Prabhu.
He is self-satisfied.
Self-satisfied.
Why he creates?
Why does he still create? Why does he still create? Do he is self-satisfied? These are the 2 questions about the Lord. Okay, fine. So, what's the answer to this question? Question 1: How is the Lord aloof, but he is still involved? What is the answer to that? Where is the answer given to that? How? 7? No, actually in text 9 only. Same Bhagavato Maya Jannair Viruddhate. That's it. Ishvarasya Muktasya Karpanya Mutabandhanam. So in 9 only he answers the question, giving a hint. I said he didn't explicitly explain, like Jiva he explained the number of verses. But here he just, with a subtle hint, he just answered the question. Same Bhagavato Maya. Okay, yes, so how? Uh, what is the answer? The Lord is aloof, he's involved but still he's aloof. How is that? Yes.
Through his external energy, Maya, which he uses to control the three modes of material nature.
Hmm.
And
How is he aloof? It is his energy. Energy is not different from energetic.
right, but then there's a difference between the potent and the potency.
Okay.
And Krishna is he's above the modes in terms of he's managing the material modes of nature through his
Okay, fine.
feminine energy.
Fine. Yes. Fine. Good. Revatinandan Prabhu, yes.
It seems that matter uses the energy of the sun.
The sun.
Produced by evaporation, some clouds
Yeah.
can change the weather, affecting the time. So sometimes the clouds will cover the ray of light, but the sun is still present.
Yes.
So that means that the Lord can produce some contrary energy, but is not affected by them.
Yeah. So that is the analogy. See, one thing you should understand is that's a good analogy. That analogy is given to explain established siddhant. With analogy, you don't establish a conclusion usually. See, first it is established that Lord is aloof. Then it is shown with analogy how it is aloof. Like, it's not that analogy can be used to establish a conclusion, but an established conclusion is explained using analogy. So, coming back, how is the Lord aloof? This is like analogy which explains he is aloof. But from the Siddhant point of view, the Lord is involved through the material energy he creates, maintains, destroys. How is he also aloof from the philosophical point of view? Yes, Suman Prabhu?
He never comes in touch, only through his glance he gets.
Okay, he never comes in touch, only through the glance. Fine, yes.
The material energy is subordinate. So the master is not controlled by the servant, and he is far superior. She is
Okay.
behind.
Okay,
So like
fine.
that.
Fine. So, okay, so this is right. You are right. Yes, it is in the.
Prabhupada use the word Sagun and Nirgun. So he says the Lord is Sagun spiritually, but Nirgun materially.
Yes. So the Lord is involved because it is His energy, but He remains unaffected in His Sarupa. This is how it is explained. That His own Sarupa means His own Satchidanand form is never affected. In a way, even when He glances, said that there is some remote contact, although Lord Mahavishnu, he's also Nirguna, he's not affected by the Prakriti, but at least he glances over the Prakriti, there is some remote contact. But Krishna, situated in this Gurukul Vrindavan, he has absolutely no contact also, there is no remote contact also. That means the Lord through his expansions only interact with Prakriti. In his own Sarupa, there is absolutely no contact. So the Lord has multifarious expansions and energies, and they all accomplished. The Lord is situated in his own Sarupa, unaffected also. So only for the sake of, it is Lord's expansions as Purushavataras, who from a distance glance Prakriti, although they are also never in touch with Prakriti, though they interact, they are also never in touch with Prakriti. Who comes in touch with Prakriti? The Gunavataras. Further expansions. So like that. So the Lord in his Sarupa is totally aloof, he can remain aloof, but through his expansion, through his energies, he is involved. That is possible for him. Because his inconceivable energies, potencies. So the Lord is supremely powerful, inconceivable, therefore this is possible for him. It is possible for him to remain aloof and also remain involved. Okay? And then how he remains aloof and involved? To the example of sun it is shown. Yes.
But Garvada Krishna Vishnu and Shilda Krishna Vishnu, they are actually in that.
But yeah, they like Mahavishnu glance, but Guru Lakshya Vishnu enters. He has the Prakriti goes inside him at the end of Brahma's day, but still he is also not affected. But still there is an interaction. But fine, there is interaction, but Krishna or Lord Narayan, which is in the spiritual world, right? They have absolutely no contact, even remote contact with Prakriti also. So he can, therefore he is aloof, right, simultaneously.
Even when he comes here,
Yeah,
then he's still aloof.
he is still aloof.
So he's never ever in touch with the material.
He is not affected, it's mentioned that he is not affected. Even when he is participating, he is never affected by Prakriti. Never affected by Prakriti. So, like through his, you can say through his expansion, he is involved. But in his another form, he is aloof also. Because he has so many expansions. Like here, see, he is never affected. Vishnu is never affected. But these three Purushas are involved with Prakriti in some way or other. But their other expansions are totally aloof also. Nothing to do with Prakriti. That way. So everything is accomplished because the Lord has so many expansions. Everything can be accomplished. Fine? Like that. Like a person who is very rich. Prabhupada said that he may have hundreds of outlets running, or hundreds of factories running, but he may be sitting somewhere in Switzerland, aloof. His energies are carrying out everything.
The
Like
order
that.
is
So he is appointed representatives, energies, hundreds of businesses are running, but he is sitting aloof somewhere, enjoying. It's possible in this world also, right? The person is powerful. Things will work out like that. So it's like that. So Lord is so powerful, although he is involved, but is also aloof. And of course, then we already discussed that why does he create, although he has no desire, so that living entities can get a chance. Ishvarasya Muktasya. So the Jiva can realize the Lord and be liberated. That is the answer.
What was that point? Sorry.
So if you see, actually the text 9 has answered both the question, both the parts. Actually in one verse, one sutra. Then he explains about the Jiva. But in text 9 just Maitreya answers both the questions. So yes. So then we also discussed that what is the question about Jiva now? What is the question about Jiva? Yes, Mother. Okay, you were not there yesterday. But you read it through. Fine.
So,
What is the question about Jiva
so
then?
the Jiva is spiritual. How does it get affected with the modes of nature?
Okay, Niscience. The Jiva is a pure consciousness, how it gets affected with Niscience. That is one.
And
Part
the
two.
second part is, though the Supreme Lord is within, how does the Jiva become so
Yes,
miserable?
good. When the Supreme Lord is within the heart, how is the Jiva become so, so unfortunate? How he gets involved in the science and how he becomes so unfortunate. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, Suman Prabhu.
So it said misidentification with the material world or the body is the main cause.
Okay.
And the analogy of
Two things we discussed.
That two
No, about the Jiva's misfortune. Two things about Jiva's misfortune.
So you said the Jiva, he wants to enjoy and Maya traps him so tightly he cannot go.
So what is the word over there? Jiva's, there are two words we discussed yesterday. Two words which describes Jiva's
Bondage.
bondage is one. Before that,
exercising is free will.
no, ignorance and bondage. And we discussed yesterday. The Jiva, so how is Jiva called? It's a causeless ignorance of the Jiva. And it is, then he is bonded by Maya also. Because of the ignorance he desires to enjoy, then the Maya catches him. There is the bondage, there is the ignorance. Both are there. And what is the nature of the Jiva's bondage and ignorance? Three words describe that. Yesterday we discussed 3 words describes nature of the Jiva's material's existence, samsara. it is
Yes. Meaningless, causeless.
yes, something like that. You
Causeless.
remember we discussed
Yeah.
3 words which describes
Yes.
the nature of the jiva samsara. So-
Causeless, meaningless, and purposeless. It was
Hmm?
words.
Yeah. Maitreya describes, and actually I had even it is he says it is apparent, right? It is apparent, that means like a dream-like, and it is not very, it's a meaningless, it's apparent first of all, suffering is meaningless, that means it can be destroyed, and it is causeless means just gross foolishness. And when someone say why is you doing like this, it's a causeless ignorance. Yeah. Fine, so the nature is just the apparent suffering, is not the. And we discussed that how the cause of suffering is not real, but the experience of suffering of jiva is real. Dream-like. Another example was how the qualities of the matter, which is like jiva becomes fearful, the quality of matter, and matter transforms, matter is destroyed, jiva feels I am getting destroyed. How the quality of matter imposed upon the jiva? What is the analogy? Yes, Maitreya Prabhu.
The contact with matter, which you gave the moon example.
Moon reflection quivers with the quivering of the water. So qualities of water imposed upon the moon reflection. Although moon is not quivering,
Yeah.
but reflection starts to quiver. Reflection. So therefore, we in this world like perverted reflection of the material, the spiritual reality, and the qualities of the body are imposed. We think we are getting destroyed when the matter is destroyed. We think we are getting old when the matter is becoming old. So the qualities of matter are imposed on the soul, just like qualities of water are imposed upon the reflection of moon. This is a very good analogy. That how the spirit soul suffers in this world. Because we think ourselves to be the matter, the qualities of matter are imposed upon us and we quiver. Quiver means we suffer in various ways. Fine? Okay, then Buddha says, he glorifies the answers. He says, I have learned the cause of how the jiva suffering is not substantial, it's just due to ignorance. But I'll be able to realize it, follow it, and become free from the nisai. By how? By
Practicing devotional service.
practicing devotional service. By, yes, Dev Krishna Prabhu. What is the express Vidura? That what you have taught me is very good, but how will I be able to follow this?
Through detachment and knowledge.
Jnana
No.
Vishnu class.
How?
By giving devotional service to the
To?
Supreme Lord as well as his Guru.
He says by serving your lotus feet. By serving your lotus feet, I will be able to realize.
But then afterwards it says the effects of serving lotus feet is through.
But first he says that how will I be able to follow this knowledge which you have taught me? We discussed that quite.
Oh, we have to apply the knowledge as well, so you can't just.
Yeah. How will I be able to realize this knowledge which you have spoken? How will I be able to free myself of this ignorance and bondage? Or understand this by serving your lotus feet, he says. By serving your lotus feet. And we discussed that how actual service to the Lord, to the Vaishnavas, help us realize the knowledge that we are learning. So Vidura describes how this knowledge will turn into realization by service to Lord Lotus feet. Do you not discuss this? Quite elaborately we discuss.
Yes.
Now that it was not a passing mention. We spent time on
No,
that.
to the lotus feet. There's about 5.
Yeah.
Something like those with meager sukriti cannot serve.
Then he says only Those who have little tapasa, they cannot obtain the service of the devotee's lotus feet. That means only by their mercy one attains service to devotee's lotus feet. So like that he describes. Okay, so in this way, having his question being answered, Vidura asked further so many questions. I think he asked all these questions, which that we can divide into three basically, three categories. Yes, Dev Krishna, what are the three categories? If we have to divide all the questions in three categories, what are the categories?
It was Kala, Prakriti, Purusha,
Kala, Prakriti.
and has to be Purusha, I think.
Okay, Purusha you can say.
Or was it Ishvara?
Ishvara, Purusha means Jiva.
So then,
Jiva.
Purusha can be applied for both. Word Purusha is applied for both. But okay, Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti,
those three, isn't it?
No. These three categories, different categories. The questions categories we discussed. What are if all the questions have to be categorized in three, what are those three categories?
So those are the three categories, no?
No.
Prakriti, Purusha, and Ishvara.
No.
And another one could be creation.
Huh? No.
No?
Yes, Mandaru, what are the three categories? We have divided all the questions in three categories.
Kala,
Huh.
Isvara,
Huh.
Jiva,
Huh.
and Prakriti.
Huh.
Another one is
Okay, what is one category or four categories?
You said there was the topics of the Gita, there's 5 topics.
That is one category or there are 5 topics of Gita?
You said that they can be put into those 3 categories.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Rasmitandru.
That is Sambandha Vidya Prayojan.
Sambandha Vidya Prayojan. Question of Sambandha Vidya Prayojan. Those 5 topics are topics of Sambandha primarily. Primarily, what is our relationship with the Lord? Jiva's relationship with how Jiva is under the Kala. How Jiva interacts with Kala, Karma, Prakriti, Ishvara, related to Sambandha. All that is related to Sambandha. Then Avideya, what is the category of Avideya? What is the category of Avideya? Is Bhakti the only Avideya? Huh?
Sambandha relationship. Cool.
Avideya means karma, jnana, yoga, bhakti. Different processes to connect with the Lord. Yoga is all yoga, to connect with the Lord. So first is the relationship with the Lord. Second is Avideya, process of connecting with the Lord. That is all these processes, karma yoga, Ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga. Is the second category of questions. Third category of question is what is under that what we can put?
Bhagwan,
And bhakti.
Bhakti.
Bhakti is Bhagavan, the subject matter of Pariyojana. How there is exchange of relationship between the Lord and the devotees through devotional service.
Goal.
So basically 3 varieties of question either related to Sambandha or Abhideya or Pariyojana. We used the 3 terms yesterday. You are saying, oh, like you have heard first time in life ever. We discussed quite elaborately yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. If you don't take notes and don't revise, you forget everything. We discussed quite elaborately yesterday these things. Okay, so then all these questions can be divided into 3 categories related to Sambandha, Abhideya, Pariyojana. And after putting so many questions, then Maitreya asks, what is the purpose of so many questions? Right? What is the purpose? Vidura described the purpose of his asking questions. What is the purpose of asking questions? Yes, Devtinandan Prabhu.
Describe further glories of Krishna. Relate them all to Krishna.
He says, purpose of all my questions is that you answer everything in relation to Krishna so that I can
You can remain in Krishna consciousness.
remain in Krishna consciousness means I can focus, I can absorb.
So,
I can absorb myself, give the answer to the question in relation to Krishna, so that I can, my mind and intelligence remain focused and I can absorb my mind in Krishna. That is the purpose of asking questions. We didn't discuss.
yes.
Your face shows that everything we discussed for the first time. Because while we discussed everything yesterday, you are totally like a blank.
No,
Giving total blank look.
I remember some of it.
Yeah, giving total blank look. So that's the purpose of his inquiries. Okay, so fine. So in this way, Maitreya becomes very enthusiastic, and he begins to reply. That is chapter 8. So Maitreya will give reply. First he will actually again appreciate Vidura and then begin replying to the questions. Fine, so let's discuss beginning with chapter 8. Text 1, Maitreya Uvacha. सत्सेवनीयो बत पूर्वंशो
सत्सेवनीयो बत पूर्वंशो
यल्लोकपालो भगवत्प्रधानः
यल्लोकपालो भगवत्प्रधानः
बभूविथे हाजितकीर्तिमालां पदे पदे नूतनयस्य भिक्षणम्
The great sage Maitreya Muni said to Vidura, the whole dynasty of King Puru is worthy to be served with pure devotees because all the descendants of that family are devoted to the personality of God. You are also born in that family, and it is wonderful that because of your attempt, the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are becoming newer and newer every moment.
Okay, so actually, Maitreya is saying that you have expressed your desire to serve me, but the fact is that you have appeared in Puru dynasty just to save me. Right? So that is Maitreya's mood over here. He says, though you want to serve me, but actually the fact is you have appeared to save me. Why? Because in your association, by your eagerness, the topics of the Lord are ever new. I am relishing ever new mellow in your association. So the topics of the Lord are becoming ever new in your association. You see? So it's a very beautiful glorification of Vidura. Maitreya glorifies.
Talking about this freshness,
Becoming newer and newer.
Yeah. So Maitreya is saying, you have actually appeared to save me, and in association, the glory of the Lord will become newer and newer. That means I am able to relish newer and newer mellows. And Bhagavatam, the nature of Bhagavatam, tad eva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. 12th canto describes, there are, at every step there are newer and newer relish in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tad eva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. Chaitanya Charita Amrita Nityanutan Sunite Sunite Judai Hridaya Shravan. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, the pastime of Lord Chaitanya is ever new, ever fresh, and one's ears and heart will be completely satisfied or relish newer mellows as one goes on hearing. This is there in how the glories of the Lord are ever new